Alright guys, meet Jack. Jack is, we actually haven't had too many of these on the channel. Jack is a Honda boy. Do I call you guys Honda boys?
I think so.
Okay.
It works.
We have two of the most iconic prime examples of Honda.
My AP1 S2000.
As you can see, he's doing quite a bit of work on it at the moment. Da, da, da. And we got this guy here. There's the Daily, faithful Daily.
Daily, the 97 EK.
It's a 97 EK.
But a sedan though, which no one really wants to modify anymore.
Yeah, you don't really see sedans too much.
Everyone goes for the hatches.
Do these come out in two-door too, don't they?
Yeah, and the two-door hatch. Oh, and the coupe actually, yeah, you're right.
Sweet, let's check it out. Right, so you have to run us through these. So you've had this on the longer time, and this one's kind of compensated for this one being off the road and fixing it.
Yeah, sadly. So I've had this for like 4 years-ish, so pre-COVID, when you could still afford them.
Yep.
When I bought it, it was bone stock, except for some cheap coils that were on it. I think they were Coney yellows. Since then, I've just absolutely gone to town, mostly on handling stuff originally. So like your upper camber arms, sway bars, lower ball joints, all the suspension components replaced, like BC coils.
I did see all the hard race goodies down here too.
I do love hard race. Like they're quality and they're cheap, which is like the biggest part for me.
Good balance between both.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to spend too much money on super expensive stuff, because then you don't want to drive it as hard because you don't want to damage stuff.
Yeah.
Then obviously it's got some Enkei TS7s, a big wing from Carbonetics. There's a few other goodies here and there, like bushings and stuff I've replaced.
And you said you got these guys here. Look, these are quite unique. From America?
Advanced, yeah, from America, from a guy called R Theory Motorsports. Super cool. I think it's
They are metal.
very different than what everyone else is doing. No one wants to cut into the bumpers, which like or any parts of these really.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're too cheap at the moment, or sourcing parts would be too easy.
No. About 7 months ago, I was doing a little bit of work on the motor, and I ended up threading a bolt in the bottom of the block. And I thought I may as well sell this motor, go a K series, just because it's cheaper on parts. It's an easy swap once you have the money to get it done, and that's where I'm at the moment.
So we're mid progress of a K swap on an S2K. Are they pretty? Is it a pretty common swap?
Yeah, they do it a lot, kind of everywhere. I know there's a company down in Melbourne who will do it for you, called Elusive Racing.
Yep.
I got like a quote off them for like all the parts and things like that, and like it comes with the complete package. So you got like all your adapters to make it fit. Basically a mini rebuild on the motor itself.
This is the motor in question at the back here, isn't it?
This is the infamous K24 out of a Honda Accord Euro. It's an A3, which is basically the same as the A2 over in America, which everyone does the swaps on.
Do we get A2s over here?
We don't, so we only get the A3s in Australia. They're the same motor, but like it's funny when you type in like K24, it comes up with the A2 and like everyone freaks out because they're like, we can't get them here. But yeah, the A3 is the exact same motor.
That's weird. So what is the difference at all then between the A2 and A3?
Nothing, pretty much. Like
just a name.
It's just a name. Yeah, it was just what was available for the Australian market.
Okay.
What's available for the American market. The S2000 transmission, so that'll bolt straight on there. They're super renowned for like how strong they are. They're an amazing transmission. I think it's the nicest transmission I've ever used. Definitely.
They look pretty full on.
They're super beefy.
Yeah.
Super dirty.
I don't think I've ever seen one of these before. What?
But yeah, they're a solid transmission. Went for the K24 because I think they come with around between 200 and 250 horsepower from factory.
Yep.
And with a stock block and a turbo strapped to it, like a 62mm precision turbo, you can get around 500 wheel. Like that's if the boost is like way up. I'm gonna aim for 400, like a safe 400 is the plan. Yeah, that's pretty much what the goal is.
How does it go for... I've never actually seen... Can we see that in the bay of an S2K with no motor?
Of course.
I'm always curious about how much clearance these things have. You see they do like a tapered front here.
It's a fair amount. I'm not gonna lie.
And then we have these massive like sidewells here. It's actually really cool that he's got the guards off at the moment. He's replacing them with some wider ones, but you can see the chassis really well and how it's designed. It's crazy. It's like a tub car. That's cool.
Shit ton of room.
Yeah, there's so much room.
Crazy amount of space.
I think we know what we should do for your thumbnail.
Yeah. Okay, I definitely. Yeah, let's do it. So before I took the motor out, I did move the battery to the boot. The fuse box and stuff is in the passenger footwell.
Yep.
Like all up and in there. And then stuff like radiator, oil coolers in there, had a dual catch can. There was a few goodies on the motor itself, but sadly it's gone.
That's so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of space.
Look at the floating headlights. Like it's so, I don't know, unique to see the headlight and the front bar just hovering above the front wheel so closely like that. Like you always expect to like see these things like coming down and then, you know, support everything, but they look like they're just hovering there.
Yeah, the layout is like super unique.
Yeah.
And obviously like the chassis itself, I don't know if you know much about them, but like...
I don't know very little about Hondas at all, so please educate me.
Right, okay. So it's something called an X-Bone chassis.
Yep. Where
it's basically crossed all the way along, which makes it super rigid when cornering and stuff. So handling in these is kind of their like main goal.
So they got very... Do they do that because they're convertibles and they want very like minimal flex?
I think so, yeah. I think that was basically the part of it.
Yep.
So they just over-engineered and went to town. So it's like driving a go-kart, really. Like when it was driving, it was like the most incredible feeling because you turn and it just goes exactly where you want it. There's not a whole lot of body roll. Like when it was stock, it wasn't even a whole lot of body roll. But since like doing handling stuff, it was super rigid.
I can't imagine they would. But have you ever gotten like understeer with these things? Like how are they for that? You really have to push them hard.
Yeah. But when you do hit it, it does snap. It's super snappy, especially with the AP ones. They changed a few of the like suspension components in the AP2s, which was like 2004 onwards, I think.
They come out factory LSDs?
Yeah, factory LSD.
Sweet.
The diffs are quite fragile because obviously it revs so high. Like it revved to 9,000 or thereabouts before. Obviously, people would always blow out their diffs, like trying to do burnouts and stuff in them.
So for us non-Honda people, the original motor, is it the F20?
F20, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
F20
cool.
that came in the AP1s. It was F22 in the AP2. The F20, it revved out to around 9,000. Made 240 wheel from factory. That's at the crank, so probably like around that 200, 210-ish mark. Amazing motor. It's just too expensive to work on.
And I think you're telling me they're not overly torquey, are they? Like I'm assuming they're kind of like an RB20 where you got to really wring their neck.
Yeah. You always had to be like way up in the
Yeah.
VTEC to get it to like have any power. Gear control was always super important on the mountain, especially trying to keep up with cars going up, because obviously it doesn't have that power to go behind it. In the corners, you could keep up with pretty much everything. Just on the straights, you'd lose in an uphill battle. Downhill a bit more fair, but yeah, those motors you had to go way up in there, but it sounded like
Mint.
it was so mint. You get pulled over way too much in that.
Yeah, how do you go in this? Do they kind of pull you over, or are they
I got pulled over in Melbourne when I was living down there, just because the cop wanted to have a look.
Okay.
Like, they just pull you over for everything and anything when they can.
Probably try and harass a lot of these things for the height that they sit at, because they look quite nice when you've got them stanced correctly, but they also look quite low.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when this was on the road, it was sitting about 80 mil off the ground.
Okay.
But it just looked best at that height.
For you non-Australians, that's illegal over here.
Yeah.
We have to be a minimum of 100 mil, which I don't think we've got. Is a can about 100 mil?
Yeah, it's the size of a Coke can, yeah.
Yeah, it's about probably the V can over here, which... I'll borrow your can for a second. So he'd probably get done at the moment with no motor in the car for height, just because that's our country.
Yeah.
Oh, state, the state. Oh, no, it is the country.
Yeah.
Damn it.
They don't like us to have any fun here.
No, not at all.
They are eBay mirrors.
Yep.
About $30. But they do the job because I didn't want to pay like the $400 for the real ones.
Yeah.
And then the side skirts are from a company called Zero Offset.
Zero Offset.
Yeah, they're based in Sydney.
Okay.
I love these side skirts. Their other parts, not so much. That's just me.
They do look really nice on this.
Yeah, one thing that's like not super common for people to do, well actually in America I know it is, I actually cut the rear bumper in half.
I did notice that. That was quite interesting.
Yeah.
What was the theory behind that? Like, what made you want to do that?
It's a free diffuser,
Free
pretty
diffuser.
much. Because I don't want to pay like $800 for a diffuser when I can just cut the bumper off.
Have you met any other S2K guys and watched their face in horror when you've told them that?
I have, and I'm like, yeah, you should do it to yours, and they're just, I don't want to do it. But luckily, I have a spare one, so
Sweet. There we go. Right
when
there.
time comes to get it re-engineered, I won't get in trouble. But I did.
Can you actually get in trouble for cutting your rear bar though?
Yes. Yeah.
How? It's not a structural component.
Well,
Like, it's not your rear or anything.
it's. I mean, it's cut. The way that it is cut, it makes it not legal. That's basically how it got explained to me.
Damn.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But then I also took out. I'll have to get a key to show you. But I think personally, I like the cut, and I'm just gonna rock it.
Yes. Do it. You're black. I think you'll be okay.
Yeah,
I think you'll get away with a bit.
It's fine. I fuck with it. And then obviously a little ducktail at the back.
Yeah, so you've blended in the nice big cybernetics wing here with the ducktail.
Yeah.
What is the ducktail? Is it part of the OEM kit or is it aftermarket?
The ducktail is aftermarket. I couldn't tell you where it's from. I bought it off someone who was selling the car stock.
Okay.
So they took off all their mods just to sell it when it's like a money thing. So I don't know where the
And
the
you
ducktail's
modified
from.
it slightly so it can fit up the carbon wing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a nice, neat little mod.
Because I didn't want to run it without it.
Yeah.
Like I love that dual kind of look.
Put this wing on the day the motor blew up, so you've never driven the car with the
Yes.
wing.
I put the wing on and I was like, sweet, I'll do this engine work, and then I broke that, and so I've actually never driven with this wing on. So it's the most expensive coffee table I own. But it does well. It does well.
I'm actually impressed the soft top on this is still in such good condition. You're telling me it's 300,000 kilometers on this.
Yeah, just under 300,000
Yeah,
Ks.
and that's the original black paint and everything. Like, and it's dirty right now. Like, it's been sitting in the garage. But imagine this thing clean. Like, I can't see a speck of clear coat peeling or a single tear or discoloration in your soft top there.
No, the only issues is like there's a few little scrapes and scratches, but like that's it.
Yeah, they seem to hold up real well. Are they glass or are they plastic?
It's glass. So it's the AP2 mirror that's there. The AP2 window that's on the back.
A little tofu sticker as well.
Because the original ones were plastic.
Okay, yeah, that was
And then
why I
this
was
is the
curious.
the updated one. So I don't know when it went on. So sadly, there's no seat for you.
That's okay.
And
It probably actually helps.
Yeah,
I can now give you
exactly.
guys the give you the full tour of the inside of an S2K.
so when I first bought it, a couple months afterwards, I actually took out the air conditioning and I took out the radio and all the speakers.
Yep.
Because I just wanted to drive it. I didn't really want to like get distracted by music. And why have AC when you can lose weight and go faster?
Yeah.
That was my plan. And then this seat went in maybe a year or so ago. Just a cheeky little bucket seat. This wheel is just temporary. I've actually taken the wheel out of this and the seats out of this and put it in my EK.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Just so, because like I'm not using it, I may as well put them in there.
So I have a question for you in a second. Where did the radio actually go? Like,
The radio is actually in here now.
oh no, sorry. Like, where does it actually?
where did it go?
Yeah, is it like? Oh, okay, cool.
It was in there.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
like too clean.
This.
Oh, They kind of remind me of my FD. The way everything's positioned and stuff.
Everything's super driver orientated.
Yeah, yeah.
And once you're in here, you're like strapped in.
Yeah, you're like in a cockpit, really.
Yeah, especially with the bucket seat and being so much lower.
You got a good amount of headroom too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just 6 foot.
Okay.
And I fit perfectly.
That's awesome. There you go. Tall people, you want a sports car? Look at a S2K, because yeah, the footwells too are massive. So
Footwells
if you
are
put your
huge,
seats
yeah.
right back, I could see like maybe a 6'5" dude being easily able to fit in one of these.
Oh, 100%. I've got a mate who's about 6'3",
Yep.
and he fits in quite well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love these little cool things. Like this, like there's a tiny little glass. I don't even know what it
Yeah.
is. This is a convertible thing, but it's rad.
And then you
Oh,
can
what?
just like knock it down
It
as well.
folds down.
Folds down, so when
For
you...
all that error.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool.
I think they have it there for when the roof is down, and then you're meant to knock it down when it's up.
I was about to say, do you notice like if you put the soft top down and you've still got that like little flap up and you're driving, obviously like when you're in these things, surprisingly the wind doesn't like get in your face or your hair too much.
No, exactly.
When that's up, does the drag change at all that you know?
Not that I can feel.
Okay.
Like,
I'm probably being very
honestly,
pedantic there, but
Like, no, I never really paid attention to it,
okay.
to be completely honest.
That's rad.
I was having too much fun driving it.
It would be a damn cool car to go for a ride in.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Door cards are really nice. Yeah, you got tons of room.
Yeah, it's like way too much space down here.
And the side sills come up pretty high too. It's kind of like a Toyota.
Yeah, like, and you're way down on the ground.
Yeah, like you're
Like-
pretty much sitting on the floor. Like,
Pretty
there's
much.
almost like a foot there. Or a hand. But yeah, that's
and you're,
cool.
like, right on the ground.
I would assume they'd have to like reinforce the hell out of this to have this, the convertible and then have the strength, and then, you know, for accidents and stuff, if it ever got T-boned, you'd want to make sure the
Yeah.
driver's got some chance to survive.
No, exactly. These are pretty rigid as well.
The MX-5 with the soft top with your little clips, like how would you...
Yeah, it's exactly the same. So there's just a little
Okay,
button
yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's so hidden, I don't even know if show you guys. Yeah, sorry.
And then it is electronic, but sadly, because I've got all the cabling and stuff out,
Yep.
I can't put it down. You can put it down manually, but it's like a whole thing. It's just
Nah,
work.
that's cool.
Yeah.
It just looks so angry.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the wide body fenders for the front to turn up.
Are they like extra 20, 30 mil?
Yeah, they're an extra 30 mil. They're going to be stock styled. So once it's painted and on there, you won't be able to tell that it's wide bodied.
Okay, and you said you had rear flares for it as well, don't you?
Yeah, I've got rear flares like just hiding away up there.
Do they look kind of like the RX-7 style, or are they like more like a bolt-on flare or an over-fender?
It's like an over fender, yeah.
Okay,
it's
cool.
just like a simple bolt on.
Okay.
I think it'll look really neat.
And you're gonna keep it black?
We're gonna keep it black.
Sick.
I love this black.
Black is awesome.
Yeah.
I've noticed quite a few references here. There's Itachi and Naruto. We've got Akatsuki on your keychain. Sorry, I just saw that somewhere.
Gatsuki here.
Oh, that's cool.
Keychain.
You got it on your arm?
Yeah.
Ah, you got it there too.
I got Madara as well.
Dude, that's rad.
I'm a massive anime fan.
That's rad. There's
love it.
a bunch of stickers there too.
Yeah, most of the stickers are from a guy called Rolly.
Rolly.
Yeah, he owns Street Soul,
Okay.
which is a Brisbane-based like stickers, apparel, like car lifestyle
Okay.
setup. I'm actually an ambassador for him as well.
Sweet. Oh, shout out to you guys.
Shout out to Street Soul. If you use the code NIGHT10, you get 10% discount.
Sweet. I think I
Yeah.
can get your own stickers.
Exactly. He's got some awesome stuff.
Alright, you're gonna have to run me through this a bit. Even though it's the daily, you've already got some crazy cool your S2K parts in this thing.
Yeah.
Cool wheels, nice kit. Tell me about this.
Alright, so it's a 97 EK. It's a sedan, obviously. It has a D16 Y4, and for those Honda boys, you'll know it's the worst motor. It's completely useless and slow.
I was about to say for us non-Honda people, what makes it really bad?
It's just, it's
Okay.
non-VTEC.
So
it
it's
doesn't
non-VTEC 1.6?
Yeah, and it makes like 80, 100 horsepower, I think. 80 to 100 horsepower, I think. So not fast in any regard. So it's polar opposite. For what I've done to it, externally is the Enki 92s, because I've got to stick with my Enkis.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't notice before, Jack's running some pretty cool wheels on both these cars, both of which are Enki.
Yeah, so the TS7s on the S and the 92s.
So TS7s and 92s?
Yeah. which
Okay.
I was inspired by the BBS LMs, like, because they're an amazing wheel.
Yeah.
But like, no one can afford those. They're silly expensive. Yeah.
I think mesh looks really cool on Civics and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
I love the
Definitely.
style, and I kind of wanted it to be a bit more driver orientated rather than going like heaps of stretch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it handles amazing because I've got white line front and rear sway bars, which these cars don't come with rear sways normally. So it
Okay.
handles really well now. It's got max speeding rod coilovers because budget. A front lip from Mr. Body Kits, which is based in Brisbane. Got some super cool stuff.
I think it looks really nice. It suits it.
Yeah, I really like it, and I picked it up. I picked up the whole car for about $800
Sweet.
with a blown clutch, and then just a couple weeks later, it was up and running.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's manual?
It is manual, yeah.
Sweet. How often do you see this?
S2000 seats, and steering wheel to boot.
So damn cool. And did they fit up like well? Like, do you have to do any mods to the rails?
I had to replace the base in the seats.
Yep.
So basically, I took the seats out of the S, I pulled up the upholstery and stuff, swapped the Civic seat base with the S2000 seat base, and then it just bolted straight in.
Sweet.
So it fits in super easy. When I bought it, the paint was peeling and terrible.
I did notice it looks like it's had a bit of a respray.
It has had a respray. We didn't do a great job. We had some gun issues,
Yep.
which happens. But it's painted championship white, which is a Honda Type R color. So I love that white, and I wanted to like replicate that kind of color. Sadly. But it is a little bit more fun.
Yeah, it looks nice and clean. Like, I'd expect a daily to look like kind of ratty and, you know, a little dirty and stuff, but
Yeah, exactly.
it's minty looking.
So it's just got some headers on it as well. Cut off the rear muffler, so it's a bit more Civic styled. Because everyone loves a noisy Civic. Can't beat it.
Are you going to do the Christmas Jingle Bells song this year?
I think that'd be fun. I might.
Yes!
Actually, I'll probably take off the AC out of it, put the battery in the boot. Same with the S. I feel like if you drive it fast enough, you don't really need AC.
Yeah.
Just chuck the windows down, you'll be fine.
It's, what is it? Not art is pain. Certain sacrifices
Yeah.
have to be made.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't make power, so I gotta save that weight.
This is crazy. Why do they do that? So why do they go from like that kind of opening to a massive to then small again? Is it just like compresses as much air as it
Honestly,
can?
don't know. It was cheap eBay spec,
Okay.
which is most of what these parts are, except for the sway bars. I've deleted the power steering out of it as well. So now it's just got a little reservoir behind here made by Chase Bays, which
Okay.
are over in America.
So what made you to delete the power steering?
It was actually leaking. The original power steering.
And it's not too heavy with it out now? Like
It
it's
is at a
fine?
standstill,
Okay.
but once you're moving, it's like super light.
Sweet.
And it feels very similar. And
Might give you
yeah,
a
I
bit
did-
more of a manual feel to it if you ever take it out to like Lakeside or to like a racetrack.
Yeah,
You've got to
exactly.
feel like all bump steers, like everything.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to make it a bit more race styled. So that's why the first thing I did was the sway bars. 'Cause
Yep.
I knew that's what I wanted. Then it just so happened the power steering was leaking, and I was like, sweet, more weight can be saved. Get it out.
But I don't hear this from, I've done a couple of these features and I've never heard weight saving come up in conversation.
Really?
Until the Hondas, so.
Yeah, all the Honda boys.
Yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
it's definitely a priority with these
If
guys.
you don't have power, you got to save weight.
Yeah.
And then just some eBay mirrors.
Give us the story behind this one.
So what happened was, when I bought it, this entire fender was like ripped up, like trolley bashed. So I ended up replacing it, and instead of painting it, I was like, I just want to do something a bit more fun that I haven't done before.
Yeah.
So I went with a sticker bomb.
It's all legit stickers too.
It's all real. It's very like bumpy, which I was
Is it clear coated or like covered in a contact or is it?
covered in a clear coat.
Okay.
But I kind of like how it ended up like that. It's a bit more textured,
Yeah, no, it looks cool.
you know. rather than smooth and clean.
At least the clear coat has hopefully kept the colour and like the UV in the stickers.
Yeah, I had to redo it once,
Okay.
just because I didn't use enough for the clear coat the first time. But then this is a 2K like UV resistant one, so hopefully it'll last a bit longer.
Sweet. Speaking of stickers, give me a second, I'll be back. So I got some things for some of the guys we're doing features on, and I'm gonna go give them to Jack now. Let him pick. In the back of this, pick whatever you'd like.
In the back? Oh, dude,
So that's
they are sick.
some of the ones in there, and then some of the other ones.
Oh, there's even more.
There's also, if you're into slaps, there's a slap at the back that doesn't have the preview, but they're all in there. So
Oh, they're sick. I love this. This is a sick style.
the Maneki.
Yeah, definitely. Is that kitty? Hell yeah.
So if you want to get your own stickers, feel free to go on the website lokisx.com and you can get whatever you like. Any of the guys are getting
Dope.
featured. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Loki.
No, very
Awesome.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
So I haven't asked this yet. Let me just shut your car so I don't. Well, not that it has a battery in it, but just force to have it. Alright, so obviously you're into Hondas. What got you into the Hondas?
So it's a bit of a story. So back when I was a kid, like obviously everyone played like Need for Speed Most Wanted and stuff like that, and watching like Fast and Furious. I liked Hondas, but it wasn't cool to like Hondas. For some reason, everyone ragged on them. So I kind of got out of it for a while. When I got back into cars, I went to the Euro kind of side. I had like an Audi A3, which I then turned into an Audi TTRS, which is the inline 5 turbo all-wheel drive, which is just like a nutty car. Too much power, and I kind of got bored of it. I did lose my license driving it as well, which was on the first day I bought it, which was kind of funny.
Speeding?
Yeah. Couldn't help myself.
I gotta ask, of all the all-wheel drive people, I've never seen one. Did you do like a Cyclone, I don't know what they call Cyclone Doughy? Like,
No, because the way they set it up, it's not all-wheel drive, it's Quattro,
okay.
which is a front-wheel drive bias.
Ah.
So it was like 70-30.
70 front, 30 rear.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So yeah, 70-30 bias. Super interesting. Like, it felt amazing to drive, but I kind of got bored, and I wanted to work on my cars more. So
you went for the king of tuners.
yeah, pretty much. I was like, I saw the S2000. I was like, I f***ing love that. I loved Johnny Tran in Fast and Furious 1. Had one. It was black. It was amazing. And obviously Suki in number 2. So I just knew I wanted one, and then I went and saw quite a few of them. Some like really ratty examples were out there, but then I stumbled across this, and it was like bone stock, and I'm like, sweet, it's like a perfect building block. So I basically sold the TT, got this, and I don't think I'll ever go back to anything else. Like once you drive an S2000, it's like an incredible car. But I never owned a Civic or anything like that before going straight to the S.
Okay. So the S was your first kind of
S
dipping
was
in the
my
Honda.
first Honda car, yeah.
Sweet. That was a good start.
So I was like, why don't I go back to what like Honda really is? So I wanted to get back into an EK. This was like after COVID, so all the hatches were way too expensive. They started like 10 grand for an EK hatch.
Wow.
It's just unnecessary.
It's crazy. Going on the days where they were like $3,000.
Yeah, exactly. But then I saw the sedan, and I was like, you know what? They look sick. Like, if you do it right, I think they can look really cool. So that's kind of what got me back into the Honda side, the Honda side of stuff.
Sweet.
And they're super easy to work on, and so much fun. Like, everything is a 10 mil. Like, everything's a 10 mil. You can pull it apart with like one shifter.
What is one of the most fun things that you've enjoyed about the cars, or like something that you've experienced because of the cars?
I did do a trip along the Great Ocean Road, which is down in Melbourne.
In the S2K?
In the S, yeah.
Ah, that's so cool.
I went with a mate of mine who had he still has, it's It's a BMW. It's a 135i.
Yep.
Which, if you know anything about, they're basically like the new 2J. Like,
Sweet.
the motor in them is just bulletproof. And like racing him along the Great Ocean Road was an incredible feeling. And then there's a few mountains in this area too.
Yep.
That are amazing to drive down. Taking it up that is just, it's just incredible.
That would be so damn cool to do Toge in.
Yeah, it's
so cool.
Like, it's a ridiculous car. It's so much fun. And then I think my favorite part about the community of cars, especially Honda guys, is when, because I'm a massive fan of Hondas, and whenever I see something like a cool EK or a Prelude or something like that, I always tend to say something. When I first moved to this house, the neighbour, he had a Prelude in the front yard. I think it was a Gen 4 or 5. And I saw him out the front. He was just on his P plates, and I saw him out the front, and I was like, "Dude, I love your Prelude." And he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then afterwards, a couple of days later, he came back and he's like, "Oh wow, I can't believe someone who has an S2000 liked my Prelude." I was
You
like,
blew his mind.
yeah, I blew his mind. I thought it was an amazing feeling, like, which I really appreciate about like the car community now. Is like, I feel like people are trying to get back into it, make more of like a community base around it. We are running out of like time for combustion engines, sadly, but that's just the way that the world's going.
Yeah. You reckon you'll keep these till the day you die?
Oh, 100%.
Well, we'll have to
100%.
figure out a way to make synthetic fuel for these. So
Exactly,
in 20
I
years
mean,
when we got nothing.
As soon as I can get it on an E85, at least I'll have like the clean fuel, quote
Yeah.
unquote, which is more power and it's cleaner. I don't know why you wouldn't go E85 if you can. Yeah, I think eventually the combustion engine will die, but they'll always try and innovate with Hondas.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll make another S2000 ever again.
Yeah.
Like, because they made the Integra and it kind of sucks. Like that new one.
The one that was meant to be all cool and hype
Yeah.
and cyber, and then they turned it into
Yeah.
some weird, I don't even know what
Like,
it
the
is.
concept looked amazing.
Yeah,
And
the
then
concept was
it
great.
came out and it's like, dude.
So disappointing. It looked
What'd
like
you guys do?
it looked like a RAV4 or something.
Yeah, exactly. I think they've really just moved on to like family style
So
cars
sad.
and stuff.
Honda, come back. Please come back.
Yeah, like bring back a real Type R.
What is something that you would tell some of the next generation or someone who's looking to get into cars or into Hondas? What's something that you tell them? Like something maybe you've learned when you started that you wish you knew beforehand, or something that you would want to pass on to someone?
Honestly, it's just to give it a go. Like, if you don't know how to work on your car, just start pulling off. Like, yeah, watch a YouTube video to like get a bit of guidance, but just start doing stuff. Because personally, I know nothing about what I'm doing. I've never rebuilt a motor before. It's all new for me. But if you just start doing it, and then like going out car meets and stuff like that, and just like trying to find people who have that same mindset. The Honda community, they're amazing people. You could talk to them if you get into Hondas. The community for that, people just talk to you about everything and anything. I mean, like, I've made some mistakes. Like, obviously I broke the F20, but then I knew someone else could fix it, so I was like, I'll just sell it. I know someone else out there with more knowledge about what they're doing is going to be able to do that, and I just wanted to start fresh, build my own, like, make it unique. Don't just do a
clout build.
Yeah, pretty much, which I think is kind of where everything's going. Like, most people now are always going to put like RPF ones on, and some BC coils, lower it, and that's about it. Or they'll just do a wide body for the sake of doing a wide body. They don't really add their own like uniqueness to it, which I kind of miss. Like,
Yeah.
I miss like early 2000s era cars.
That was so good.
They were just like outrageous, and people just expressed what they wanted to. I hope it comes back to that. I
Yeah.
hope people just start building cars the way they want to build it, rather than for other people, which is kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm just doing that I like, and I hope more people get into it.
Yeah.
Like,
Same. Like, I hope that some of these features can like inspire you guys right here, and some of these owners here can motivate or show you that, you know, anything's possible and you can do what you want. If you have a dream or a mindset or something that you want to do, get into it. Just get your hands dirty.
yeah, like my my favorite example actually, which is a recent experience, is that I met a guy who was just driving past. He saw the car when I was working in the garage. He came over and just started chatting to me, and he was like, "Oh, this is so awesome!" Like, he's 18, so he's like started
Losing
to get
his
into
mind
it.
because
Yeah,
of an STK
he's like,
here.
"Wow, that's insane!" Like,
Johnny Chan, yo.
yeah.
That's how Tony pulled the oh God, I can't even say it. That's how Tony's pulled a premium for a Race Wars.
And he's like, oh, I want to get into it. I just don't know what to do, like, or how to do stuff. And then the other day he was here again, and he pulled into the driveway. I was like, "Oh, hey man, like, how you been?" It's like, "Did you get that valve cover replaced, the valve cover gasket, like you said you were gonna do?" And he's like, "No, I haven't had the chance. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I've got the stuff here in the car." And I was like, "Dude, I got an hour to spare. Like, let's just smash it out." So we're here for an hour. I was like showing him how to just do a valve cover gasket, which, if you haven't done before, it's super easy. It doesn't take long. But he was like, "Oh, is that all you have to do? Like, is it that hard?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's not that hard. You can just grab a wrench, like, just start pulling it apart. If you get stuck, like, look at a video." But I think people get really intimidated by cars and just working on them, when, like, it's not actually that hard. Even just go to a car meet, especially if you're into Hondas. If you go to any Honda related car meet, like, people there are always super nice.
Super fat, like fountains of knowledge as well.
Yeah.
So you get stuck with something.
Exactly.
Like, "Oh, have you tried this?" You're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that."
Yeah, and if you see a Honda with a laptop in it, like, definitely ask him. He knows what he's doing.
Oh God, they
Like,
better have the danger to manifold screensaver.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna be disappointed.
I know a few people who've got it, like, just as their wallpaper when they pull up to car meets. They just, like, open up their laptop and just have that. I'm like, yes,
That's great.
what's up.
I hope you guys have enjoyed the feature here with Jack and his Hondas. Thank you so much, man.
No worries. Thank
Much
you.
appreciation. If you'd like to check
Appreciate
out his do you have social medias?
I do. So on Instagram, it's night.villain. I do have a YouTube channel, which is in the link
Yep.
that's on my Instagram.
How should we wrap this up?
That's a great question, actually.
I know. We still have to do that thumbnail.
Oh, actually, dead set. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, one of the coolest
I knew what
thumbnails.
you were talking about.
I didn't even have to say it.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I think the thumbnail from here is sick.
Yeah. Sick.
Thank you guys for watching. Cheers.
Guys.